G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this NBA 2K25 Play Now Online series where I just talk about, random teams or whatever's on my mind. Make sure to drop a like, comment and subscribe if you guys enjoy. In this episode, as you can see by the title, we're going to be rocking with the Indiana Pacers and we're going to be going up against the Sacramento Kings. See the record of my opponent there. If you go by that, I should get the win, but you never know. I feel like most people just play this casually, which is what I like about it. And I'm going to be rocking with the Pacers. And yeah, I'm just going to be going over my thoughts. They were really a good story of last season. They made it all the way to the conference finals. A lot of people didn't even have them making the playoffs, let alone the conference finals. But they did well after beating the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, granted, they didn't have to play Giannis, and Dame, I think, was injured after the first or second game. I can't really remember, but they won that 4-2. And then they beat the New York Knicks, which was not expected at all, especially when they were down 2-0 and then facing a 3-0 deficit. And I think it was Andrew Nembhard who hit a clutch three to win them that game. And then they forced a game 7 where they just ran away with it due to the fact that the Knicks were just losing bodies here and there. Anunoby was out. Jalen Brunson broke his hand, I think it was. And yeah, they just had too much depth and they were just too good for New York. And then gave Boston a pretty good run. I know Boston swept them, but I think the Pacers led for a fair amount of time in each game there, and definitely should have won that game 1 if it wasn't for a couple Halliburton turnovers and mistakes. I feel like they should have won game 1. That really would have changed the series and made it a lot more interesting. But you live and you learn, and hopefully that'll spark Halliburton to have a great next season, because I feel like he didn't play after that game 1, or it might have been game 2 where he was just injured and just didn't play at all in that series. But TJ McConnell stepped in and had a great series and a great playoff performance, I feel like. But Indiana were definitely the surprise. They didn't do much in the offseason, but just the addition of getting Mathurin back healthy should be a pretty big factor as he went out. I'm not sure when he went out, but he definitely didn't play in the playoffs at all. So that was a pretty big loss for them. But once they brought in Siakam, that was their big swing, and re-signed Siakam. That's basically the nucleus they're going forward with: Halliburton, Siakam, and then a bunch of role players, I guess you'd say. But they also re-signed Nembhard on a pretty good deal. I thought he was going to get more than what he did, but maybe that was just the market value, or maybe he just loves Indiana, or maybe he's going to time it so that hopefully by the time his next contract's up, he can get a monster deal. You see here, we start off really bad as we're down 5-0. I was about to say 7-0, but De'Aaron Fox blew that open layup. And I think I'm going to switch to player percentage on layups, real player percentage, because I think that's the cheesiest and best way to go, I guess. I mean, let me know down below what you guys think. But yeah, I was struggling with the Pacers early on here. But anyway, let's get back to them. I'm afraid that my prediction for the Pacers is going to kind of align with the Atlanta Hawks from a few years ago, where they made the conference finals after beating, Philadelphia in round 2, which was very expected. Probably the last time we saw Ben Simmons as well. And then everyone was expect them to take another step forward, maybe have a real good regular season, but it just didn't translate, and they fell back down. And basically the Atlanta Hawks are like where the Bulls are, just mediocre playing team. And I kind of feel like that's where Indiana are going to be. As harsh as that is, I just don't know if I can see them cracking the top of the East now, especially in the regular season. I mean, they're basically a regular season built team with how fast and like the threes they put up and how they play and the lack of defense, I guess. But I don't know. I just don't see them having better records than Boston, for one. What else am I bloody saying? We got Boston, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, New York, Cleveland I'd even put ahead. And then there's the likes of Orlando, who are looking to get better as well. I don't know if Indiana can get ahead of one of those, let alone a few. So it's going to be tough for them. But honestly, it just comes down to Halliburton again, because the first half of the year, he was absolutely magnificent. Then he took an injury and it just felt like he wasn't healthy for the rest of the year. But maybe teams just figured him out. They had more film on him, more footage, and they were able to study him more. Which He hasn't really been focused on as the star player of a team for a while, and so now teams are picking up on his tendencies and stuff like that. So maybe that's the reason. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. But that's just my opinion. I feel like the Pacers will probably go somewhere. I'm going to say 45 and 37 would be my estimate, but I could see them anywhere from 40 to 50 wins, which is a pretty big range, and they should make the playoffs, but I feel like it's going to be through the play-in. I think they might just sneak in. I can't see them being higher than a 5 seed, but they might prove me wrong like they did so many people last year. And I've really liked what they've been doing. I mean, they did that trade with Halliburton. They got rid of Sabonis, which was a shock to everyone. I feel like people didn't know Halliburton was up for trade, because I think they could have gotten something better than Sabonis at the time, but it's obviously worked out really well for Indiana. And Miles Turner is still on the team somehow after being rumored to be in trades for years now. But I do like their team. Aaron Nesmith from Boston is really coming to his own, really looking like a good 3-and-D player. And then Nembhard is a little bit undersized, to be honest. He was getting cooked a bit by Brunson, but Brunson was cooking everyone, so you can't really hate on that. And then Siakam and Turner is a pretty good front line, and both can stretch the floor. And especially if they're feeling it, they can be a dangerous pairing. They just need to get better on defense and then just become more better snipers and be able to stretch the floor for Halliburton, because they want to run and gun and just jack up as many threes as they can. Yeah, that's going to be it for basically my predictions. I would guess Indiana to finish, what did I say, like 45-37. And they'd be a low seed and probably just get knocked out 4-1 in the first round would be my prediction. But yeah, let's go over the gameplay. I just left in the first half. Didn't want to bother with the editing, and you'll see why. But it's 11-0 going into the end of the first here. Can we hit this wide open 3 with Nembhard? We do. And that's his second 3. As I finally start greening some shots after starting down 5-0. And my opponent didn't realize the clock was running out, and he doesn't get a shot up there. Yeah, what was my record at this stage? I think it was like 12-1 or 12-2, not too sure. Maybe it was a little bit less, I'm not too sure. But I'm not really going for a crazy record. I'm just trying to play with every single team once. And I think there's a trophy. I'm not sure if it's to play with every team or to win a game with every team. So no doubt I'll have to play with certain teams twice, as a lot of the tier 3 teams are obviously terrible, as they are tier 3 for a reason. But yeah, Indiana's bench has really just been a strength for them, and their depth. I feel like they have too many good players. As I somehow missed that mid-range with TJ McConnell. I feel like he should have like 90 plus mid-range. So I don't know how I'm missing that. Just guess I got to get the timing right next time. But it's still a close game so far, and TJ McConnell is just one of my favorite players and point guards in the league. Now, don't get me wrong, if I had to verse someone like TJ McConnell, I would absolutely hate him, as he's one of those guys that just plays full court and just doesn't stop. He's got unlimited energy. He's like a little Energizer bunny and a bit of a rat who just won't leave you alone. But that's what he's there for. That's what he gets paid to do. And I believe they just re-signed him too on a decent deal. And he's in his 30s now, so that deal is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to pan out the way they want it on the back end, but I don't think it's too detrimental to the team. And I think he can keep himself in pretty good shape, that it won't matter too much, as my opponent shoots a deep 3 there with Sabonis. And we see Walker cherry picking down the other end here, and he gets the layup to go. And we're really running away with it now, up by 5. The momentum's definitely changed. I've really put the clamps on him, but he just runs to the rim with De'Aaron Fox a lot of times and absolutely schools me there with a little pump fake and an M1 there with D Fox, one of my other favorite players in the league. I was always a Fox guy coming out of the draft. I thought what he did to Lonzo Ball, I think it was in college, I would have taken Fox over Lonzo. I mean, Lonzo's a great player too, don't get me wrong, but I think Fox has really proved how good he is, especially after Sacramento did trade away Halliburton instead of Fox. And a lot of people were saying, why did they trade away Halliburton and not Fox? Well, it's because Halliburton demanded a price. At that stage, Fox wasn't really performing as well as you'd like. And a lot of people were saying he had one of the worst contracts in the league because he was on like a 4-year, $100-and-something million contract. People were making fun of that deal, to be honest. And now it just looks like a good contract. but that was the reason. People were saying, why didn't they get rid of Fox and keep Halliburton? It's because there was no market for Fox at the time. I mean, Halliburton was being discussed to being traded for Ben Simmons for Philadelphia. De'Aaron Fox was basically being discussed as like a salary dump almost. So it's good to see that they didn't give up on him, and he's really proved them right. And him and Sabonis have a nice little 1-2 combination now. And now with the likes of Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, and they just brought in DeMar DeRozan. It's going to be interesting to see how Sacramento fare next season. So I'm sure I'll be doing a video on them soon, so I don't want to talk too much about them. But yeah, that's why. But Halliburton, hopefully, should have a big year next year. Just needs to get himself healthy, and they'll go from there. But 2 minutes to go now in this first half. As you see that Dublin, I kick it out to Halliburton. He's going to knock down the 3. As I couldn't really score with Halliburton that well. His jump shot is a bit funky, but I just need to get better. And I mean, I just can't really shoot with anyone still at this stage. I'm just bad at the game at the moment, but rim running is the way to go. So as long as I get easy layups, I should be able to get the job done. As you see, I take a moving 3 that time with Neesmith. Probably should have set my feet there and just taken my time and tried to knock it down that way. But, you know, 2K probably make the shooting easier as the game goes on. I don't think I can remember a 2K where they make shooting harder from the start of the game anyway. So shooting will only get easier. So that's why I'm not too worried about the shooting, and you shouldn't be either. Games really just came out for about a month now, and people are starting to get the hang of it, and some people absolutely light me up. And for the most part, I think the good 3-point shooters are good shooters, so you can't really complain. As my guy brings the ball up, kicks it out, I think that's Keon Ellis, gets the ball ripped from Spicy P, Pascal Siakam, looks to take it all the way, kicks it to the corner, back inside to Miles Turner. I've kind of fumbled that possession there. But we kick it out to Nembhard now. Nembhard goes baseline, finds Turner for the deep 2, and Turner knocks it down. Beautiful jump shot there from Miles Turner, who's obviously been on the trade block for many years. Thought for sure he was going to go to the Lakers a year or two ago, where he basically went on a podcast and said, yeah, I'm willing to be traded. I think it was around the time where the Lakers had Westbrook and, you know, that Buddy Hield, Miles Turner trade was being discussed. But I don't think the Lakers didn't want to give away a pick or 2 with Westbrook, so that's why that didn't get done, I think. But I think it's worked out pretty well for everyone. Westbrook got moved on, and the Pacers should be pretty happy they kept Miles Turner. And they moved Buddy Hield on as well a little while ago. You see here, Nembhard goes inside with the slam. Nembhard getting up for that little rim grazer dunk. I think he's only like 6'1", 6'2". I could be wrong though, but he looks short. And that's where I feel like if they start Halliburton and Nembhard, they could be a little bit undersized. I mean, Halliburton's like 6'5", but he's quite thin and he's not as good a defender as you'd like him to be. He's definitely built to be a good defender, but just hasn't come through yet. And that's basically what happens when you become a star offensive player. Your defense kind of tends to slip. You see here, we're up by 12 now, coming to the end of the first half and the video, as I miss a little layup there with TJ, which was a bit sad. Nearly got the backcourt steal, which he's known for, but couldn't get it done. And he has a little open shot there for 3 in the corner, but he can't get it to go. And we got up by 12 at halftime. And that's going to be it, guys. We ran away with the game after that. As you'll see here, I skip ahead to the last few seconds. Got a pretty decent win there, won by 20, unless he hits this last second shot here, which he nearly does. But we win by 20, so we just ran away with it after halftime. But yeah, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts and opinions down below on the Pacers or a future team you'd like me to talk about. See the stats there. No one really dominated, but that's what's good about the Pacers. They've got crazy depth on their squad, so everyone can put it in the hole. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.